Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen. In today's video I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys my top 5 favorite books of the year 2018. I read a total of 67 books in the year 2018 and I'm so proud of that number. I read some amazing books, and some of these books have become some of my favorite of all time, which I will be talking about in this video. Although I did only choose 5 books, I had so many more that I wanted to include in this video, so I really had a hard time choosing my top 5 favorite books, but I did it and I'm so excited to share them with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. One great thing about my list is that every book in this list is a different genre, and I'm so excited. So this list is in no particular order. I love these books all for different reasons, and so the first book is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. So this is the first book that I read in the year of 2018 that has become my favorite from this list, and this is supposed to be a historical fiction novel. However, it reads almost like a contemporary. This follows a boy named Monty, and he's going on a European tour. He lives in like the 1800s, I believe that's when this is set, and he's going with his best friend Percy and his sister Felicity. Monty is a bisexual and he is in love with his best friend Percy, and I'm so in love with this book, mostly because of Monty. Monty's a great character. He's actually one of my favorite characters that I read from the year 2018. I love that he's not only kind and compassionate and a good person, but he's not afraid to be himself. I love that he's not ashamed of who he is, and I love that he doesn't try to be anybody else but himself, and it's something that really pisses off his dad. His dad wants him to be more serious about life, but Monty just wants to enjoy life, and that is something that I really love about him. Because of who he is and his antics, he gets himself in trouble, and I just love this book so much. If you guys haven't read The Gentleman's Guide, I would so highly recommend it. I did give this book 5 stars. And the next book that I read during the year 2018 that became one of my favorites of 2018 is Depository by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the final book in the Illuminate series, and if you guys have been on my channel for a while, then you know that I love the Illuminate series. The Illuminate series is what set my path on my love for sci-fi books set in outer space. It is the reason why I love sci-fi books set in outer space. Illuminate is a book that took me by surprise because I didn't expect it to love it as much as I did. It was a book that I was never planning on reading. I just wasn't interested in it, and then it became a book pick of the month for the BIBLIO squad, and I had to read it, and I'm so glad that it was, because I ended up loving this series. And I'm so sad that it's only a trilogy and that it ended with Depository, because this is such a great series. Now, compared to the other 2 books in the series, Depository is my least favorite. I love Illuminate first, and then I love Gemini, and then I love this book. But I still love this book so much to be considered one of my favorites of 2018. I loved how it all ended. I was kind of sad in some parts, and I really wanted to cry. And Aiden appears. Obviously, he's my favorite character from this entire series. He's the artificial intelligence from the series, and I loved him so much, and I wish more things happened with him. And I'm kind of hoping that Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman write more books within this world with Aiden, but who knows. If you haven't read the Illuminate series, I so highly recommend it because it's written in a really cool format. It's not written like traditionally with the story being told to you or stuff like that. It's being told through like text messages and IM chats and like logs and video footage kind of thing. It's so cool, and I love the series for it. It's one of the best parts of the series, the way that it's told, so I will highly recommend it. Of course, I give this book 5 stars. And then the next book on this list is a book that took me completely by surprise. I did not expect this book for me to love this book as much as I did, and it is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I love this book so much. It is a dystopian where there is this disease that causes children to die, and then the ones that are left behind, they are left with these superpowers. And our main character, she has the mind control ability, and basically they're trying to run away from the government that wants to take all of these kids and put them in these almost like concentration camps and control them. And it's really cool. I actually ended up liking this series so much more than I expected. The BIBLIO squad decided to make this book, The Darkest Minds, a book pick of the month in honor of the movie that was coming out, and I read it for the first time and I fell in love. I love Alexandra Bracken's writing style, and I love her characters, and I felt so immersed in the stories, and I really connected with the characters. And like the second book, Never Fade is my favorite book in the series, and I feel like that's a very unpopular opinion because I heard a lot of criticism over the second book, just the plight of these kids and them trying to show the world, the adults, that they're not dangerous and that they don't need to be controlled. It was really action-packed, but it also really tugged at your emotions and your compassion and your heartstrings. And if you haven't read this book, I would so highly recommend it because it was really, really good. Of course, I gave this book 5 stars. And my next book is, of course, yet another book that took me completely by surprise, and it is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. So I read this book because the movie came out on Netflix and everybody was talking about it, and I really wanted to watch the movie, but I also really wanted to read the book. So I read it and I fell in love. So this story is about a girl named Laura Jean, and I love her name, by the way. She is a Korean American girl who writes love letters to all of her crushes in order to kind of close a chapter on that crush. One day her letters get mailed out and it causes a lot of embarrassment and a lot of situations for her. And one of the boys that gets these letters is Peter Kavinsky, and Peter just recently broke up with his longtime girlfriend, and they decide to kind of like date, like fake date. One thing I love about Laura Jean is that she's super relatable, and I love her quirkiness and her personality. She's such a cute character, and I really like her, and I just laughed at her antics and the situation she gets herself in, and her and Peter's relationship was just so adorable. I love me some Peter Kavinsky because he was just such a great love interest. Even though they started dating for the wrong reasons, they're just the way they kind of like migrated towards each other, the way they connected, it was really beautiful, and I just loved this book so much. And the movie I also loved as well. They did change a few things about the movie, but I thought that they did a really good job with the adaptation. It's a great experience in reading this book. I gave this book 4.5 stars. The reason I knocked half a star is because I felt the ending was a little rushed and not really fleshed out. Besides that, it was a great book. And finally, the last book. If you've been on my channel for a while, I don't think you're gonna be surprised by the fact that this book is on this list because it's one of my favorite series of all time, and it is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. This is the second and final book in the Strange to Dreamers duology, and I love this book. This book went on a completely different journey than I thought it was gonna go on from the first book. In the first book, I can't even explain it because it's so different. It's so mesmerizing. There's so much happening with this world. And then this book, I was just like, what is happening? And my emotions were played with. I had so many feelings with this book, but I still loved it just the same. I loved how it ended. I kind of hope there is more in the future because the way the book ended was very open-ended, in my opinion. I feel like there's more story to tell, and I really want more stories to be told. There's gods and there's demigods, and there's humans trying to kill the gods and the gods trying to kill the humans, and there's so much to the story, and I love it. And Laini Taylor, she just has this beautiful writing that's so immersive and so stunning. And if you haven't read Strange to Dreamer, I would so highly recommend it because it's so good. And of course, I did give this book 5 stars. I would give it 100 stars if I could. And there you go, guys. That is my favorite books that I read in the year 2018. I loved how this list came out, again, because every single book was a different genre, and I love that. Let me know down in the comments below what was your favorite book that you read in the year 2018, because I would really love to know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you like to follow me on those platforms. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!